Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast, UFC edition. Today we have a very special episode. We're going to be talking some UFC and NCAA. And we have the MMA expert slash the commissioner of the L7C Dynasty League, Mr. Charles Marlowe. How you doing today, man?
I'd be doing better if I wasn't 0-2 to start off the season, but I am doing pretty dang great today.
So we are going to talk a lot of NCAA, but we got to do your day job first on the
Oh,
L7C.
yes.
Just quickly recapping some UFC that went down, man. Just going all the way back because we didn't get a chance to talk about 303. Alex Pereira, he won again. Chuck, I saw Daniel Cormier talk about this. I think right now you got to say Pereira's the face of the company.
I mean, when you think about it right now, with the way social media is going, the fighters who are blowing up the most, it's him, and then second would be Sean O'Malley until Sean O'Malley fights again. But anywhere you go, everyone's saying Chama. Everyone's on it's everyone's you got the stone face meme everywhere. I mean, he's everywhere lately. I don't see anyone his production level, the amount of fights that he's putting out continuously, just continuously going out and fighting week after week. Literally only taking like maybe a month off between some of the fights. His volume, his the way he's winning in dominant fashion, the knockouts, everything pretty much has just been huge and is it's gaining a lot of followers for the UFC. He's bringing a lot of people in, and he's also just continuing to put on highlight after highlight after highlight.
Yeah, man. And I think one of the biggest things you just said, the man is always available. Like he took this, people remember when we did the preview, he took that 303 fight on short notice. It wasn't like he was training for that. He's ready to fight at all times. And he's ending things in spectacular fashion too. So he's getting the viral moments. Like no one's gonna forget when he waved off the guy after getting low blow, then knocking him out 2 seconds later. Like he's getting all the combinations, Chuck. And I'm just like, ever since we started this podcast, the UFC version, we've talked about like building stars, building stars. They got one, man. Like this guy is it, and I don't know where he goes from here.
I mean, the only way you go is up. I mean, you got he was doing his thing in the middleweight division, worked his way up to the lightweight or light heavyweight, and then now I mean, there's potentially talks of him going to heavyweight. And I mean, that's if you get the like you get one of the first people to hold belts in three different divisions.
Mhm.
That oh my gosh, his stardom is going to skyrocket to a whole nother level. Once UFC 6 comes out, that's going to be the thing that they make people shoot for their career mode. I mean, it's just he is a star-studded person, and I mean, I really don't know who can stop him right now. I really don't know.
I know this was a little way ago, but Chuck, was there anything on 303 back then that was like more interesting?
Oh, for sure. Definitely got to give a huge shout out to Dan Ige taking the fight on a 2 hour notice.
Yeah.
A 2 hour notice, being a high level fighter, being a disciplined individual who is always ready to go and train and able to put out a 3 round, 5 minute fight, like 15-minute fight and not get gassed out. Because I don't know too many fighters someone could have been at home sitting there just drinking, like, oh man, I'm drunk, I'm partying, I'm turning up. And then I'm watching the event right now. And then you call me 2 hours later, like, oh, hey, yeah, we want to fight tonight. And it's like, oh, yeah, I've been partying. I can't fight right now. But no, he was just locked in. He's disciplined. He's ready to go at all times. And Dan, just to be able to come in on such a short notice, like that's unheard of. And for him to step in and I mean, he didn't win, but he did. It wasn't like he just completely just folded and like was gassed and just got beat up like a rag doll. He tried. He definitely put up a good fight, but Diego Lopez showed why he is definitely a great fighter and a up and comer and a riser on this catch weight. Well, it was at a catch weight, but I think it was originally scheduled for bantamweight because he got moved to originally. I think the weight was supposed to be at like 135, and then it got moved up to 145 because who he was fighting couldn't make weight. Then he got sick, and then he couldn't fight, and then he was like, "All right, well, it's Dan Ige now." So then they had to do a catch weight fight, and he still was like on par for weight. So it's just crazy that he was able to just be ready. And it just shows a lot from both fighters. And I think the fact that Diego was able to win, not knowing who his opponent was going to be within 2 hours, just shows his level of skill also.
Agreed, man. It just shows they gained a lot of respect, like a lot, because I don't know who else would want to do what he did.
Oh, then there's not a lot of fighters who would take that on. They're too scared for the like we always talk about protecting your record, your reputation, and I mean, there's not too many fighters that would take that on without the prep. There's definitely not a lot of fighters that would be able to do something like that.
Chuck, man, tell me about this Ian Gary, man. He's 15-0.
Ian Gary, man, yeah, went on against Michael Venom Page. I was going to be the next one I was going to highlight. I mean, he showcased why he's an up and comer and he's a riser right now in this division. Michael Venom Page is someone who most people could not figure out in his glory days and then also in the PFL where he was fighting at. And it just shows to Ian Machado Gary's high striking level that he was able to. It wasn't a beautiful fight, but it was ugly. But he got the job done, and he was able to outstrike Michael Venom Page, who is a very, 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 very high level striker. As we saw what he did last fight against Kevin Holland in his first fight in the UFC. I look forward to seeing what else we can see out of Michael Venom Page, but Ian Machado Gary's rising. It looks like he's taking a little bit of step back from the cringe away from trying to be like Conor McGregor and steal some of his stuff. I want him to be his own person. I think that's really what's going to help him rise because I mean he seems like a good family man, cares about his kid. I think that if he just continues to fight at a high level like he is, he will be one of the ones going for a welterweight title shot. As he's probably going for a number two or number one, a contender next, at least.
Agreed, 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 agreed. Anything else on 303?
Um, One more thing I want to hit on fight of the night, Andre Philly. I told you whenever Andre Philly is on the card, I'm always excited to see him fight. It went down a split decision. It was a very good, tough fight between him and Cub Swanson. I'm just happy to see both of those fighters in the octagon and just putting on a showcase and showcasing a lot of high level striking, grappling, and just something that most people don't really see. It was a good technical fight, and I think Andre Philly hopefully can keep on improving his game, and I want to see him go up and rise. So hopefully he can get someone a little bit of a bigger name next time.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Now going to 304, which just happened on 7/27. Chuck, we had a title change in the main event.
Ah, yes, indeed we did. I was looking at something earlier today. Can't remember what it was, but just the fact that all these people are talking about Bilal Muhammad is such a boring fighter. No one wanted to see Bilal Muhammad get the belt. Obviously, I didn't want to see Leon lose the belt because I love Leon as a championship title fighter, and I think that he shows a lot of high level striking. But he got outstriked by Bilal Muhammad in this fight, and it's disappointing to see. But it was very, very, very good fight and showcase. Bilal Muhammad kept relentless pressure, stayed in his face. He definitely showed that he's been training with the Dagestanians with his wrestling. He literally slammed Leon on top of his head. I don't know if anyone's seen that. Look up the videos. Watch the highlights if you can. Anyone who's listening, but he slammed him on his head. And honestly, some fighters would get knocked out from that. But Leon stayed in it. I think it was a good grappling match. Leon also showcased some of his grappling. He wasn't too weak on the ground, but I just think he got outstruck in a fight where most people thought that he was going to be the better striker. And that was nice to see out of Bilal Muhammad. I'll look forward to see what he's doing next. He said he's not going to give him an immediate rematch. He said he needs to work his way up in the next 3 years, which I think is absolutely ludicrous because, I mean, when was your last fight before this, Bilal Muhammad? Exactly. So I think that Leon should definitely get an immediate rematch. I think that we should see what happens next because their first fight ended in the eye poke. So it's technically 1-0 now in Bilal's favor. So it'd be interesting to see what happens next. I just want to pull up some stats for the last time that Leon Edwards lost a fight. So Alex Pereira was 0-1 as an MMA fighter.
Jeez.
Conor McGregor was the featherweight champion.
What?
Volkanovski wasn't a UFC fighter. Bisping, who commentated the fight, had not won his 185 title yet, and Diaz and McGregor number one didn't happen yet.
Oh my God, what's Leon Edwards' record?
Um, I can't. I have to look it up. I can't remember off the top of my head his record. Pretty sure he is. Oh, let me see. Yeah, he's 22-3.
Jeez. And you
So yeah,
said, man,
yeah,
Connor was
that
still
shows you how
full
long.
time.
Yeah, Connor was on a full-time day job with a title the last time he lost a fight. So that goes to show how much longevity has been out of Leon Edwards so far. I mean, I think he definitely got exposed in this fight. He showed a lot of weaknesses. I mean, if you look at the striking, it was what 89 of 114 total strikes to 192 of 281. Um, he was 2 of 2 for his takedowns, Leon was, and it was 9 of 13 for Bilal Muhammad. Significant strikes was 68 to 121. The thing that I think is really big for Bilal Muhammad, he doesn't have much power in his strikes. So I think if he were to get some power, he would be a really, really, really good fighter. But it was just it was not Leon's night. And to be in England and lose in your home country in front of your home fans, that has to do something to somebody. And it's either going to reignite him or we're going to see, like we see with a lot of other fighters, it's going to shake your confidence and he may not be the same. So I want to see if he can bounce back or if he's just going to lay down flat and take the Kamara route.
That's a good point. Yeah, because you brought up Kamar. I was just like, man, we haven't heard from Usman in a minute.
Yeah, he's been hanging with the fam, enjoying his money, doing his thing, reshaping his game, moving up into the world in different weight classes. So we'll see what he does. We'll definitely be
Yeah.
hearing his name soon.
Chuck, what else on this card caught
Um,
your eye?
Obviously Tom Aspinall on the John Jones call out.
Hmm.
The finish it in the amount of time he did versus Curtis Blades, who Curtis Blades is a very high level fighter. I'm not gonna say he's super high level, but he's a high level fighter. He's one of the better heavyweights. Retained the interim heavyweight title. I think he needs to hurry up and get his title shot. Fans are getting pissed off with John. They're getting tired of this. They want to say he's ducking and he's dodging Tom. And honestly, it looks like it. He obviously wants to fight Stipe first. Stipe is a veteran in the game, and I think that he deserves his due because I think veterans should have their first line of spot because they don't have that much time left, honestly. So I think they get their fight out of the way. Then I think you got Tom next in line for whoever wins the title. Um, and I don't know if Stipe wins the title. I don't know if he might retire and just be like, all right, end it on a high note. But if John wins, like everyone thinks John will, then there's definitely going to probably be a Tom Aspinall call out after the fight knowing the way John is, I'm surprised I didn't see any coked out tweets at the same time. Because usually whenever a heavyweight starts winning a fight and starts calling them out, he hops straight to Twitter and starts getting Twitter fingers. But I think he has too many other things he's dealing with lawsuits right now for the whole incident with the drug inspector coming to his house or the testing agency coming to his house and apparently he's assaulted them according to them. I don't know. His he say she said, and he showed video cam evidence of what happened. And it doesn't look like it, but you never know how much based off of what he just showed. He could have been leaving stuff out.
And it's near the end of July right now at time of recording. Do you think we see John Jones fight in 2024?
Oh yeah, definitely. Him and I think they're lined up. They're trying to line up. I'm not sure if it's official yet, but I know they're lining up him and Stipe for around September-ish is what the rumors are. I don't know if they have an official. Yeah, they don't have anything official, but probably like September, October time. I say October at 308, probably October 26th around then. That might be the most realistic timeline to see him back. Get around a good 4 months of full training camp. Well, really by then it'd be like 5 to 6 months of full training camp, and he should be able to be in tip top shape for Stipe. So we'll see.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we're getting close to the third portion of the year, like fall and then winter, and then the year's over. When is the pay-per-view where they're fighting in the spear?
I think that was the September one, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So I mean, it would make sense to announce it for that one because I mean, who else to have the biggest headline at the Sphere be John Jones?
Right.
Unless it's not kind of like, well, if you put Connor in there too, or Alex Pereira, you start putting those names in there. You can put a lot of those, like a lot of those top five fighters in the game right now. But I think if you put John Jones as a headline for any card, I don't think there's anyone who's going to headline over him right now in the UFC.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Next one, next three coming, like the three O's coming August 17th, 305. That is Adesanya. We have not seen fight in a long time, fighting for the middleweight
Yeah,
title.
yeah, Emmett Driscus in Perth, Australia. Oh, I think this is going
Currently,
to be a
just
good
this is the
fight.
underdog, Chuck.
I mean, as he should be. I mean, Israel Adesanya is a very high level fighter. He lost the belt to Alex Pereira, or well, no, Sean Strickland at the time. Sorry. The only two losses he has is him and Pereira for the title defenses at least. And I don't know. I don't know. I think Izzy definitely. I don't know if Driscus is ready for Izzy. We'll see. I mean, he put on a good fight against Sean Strickland, but I mean, everyone has their days. And I think that Sean Strickland was on point in his fight against Israel Adesanya, and he wasn't on point against his fight against Driscus. Driscus was on point against Strickland, but who knows if he'll be on point against Israel Adesanya. He's had a long time off. He's had a lot of time to reevaluate. He's still riding the high of beating Alex Pereira. But I think this will be a good fight. There's a lot of bad blood there, apparently. I know you've all seen the Octagon call out, the "You're no brother of mine," the whole N bomb fiasco. We'll see. I'm excited for it because I think it's going to be a lot of bad blood, but I think it'll be a high level fight like it always is for Adesanya, and it'll be a lot of good high level striking, evasion. And I think now that Driscus has his cardio because he had his deviated septum repaired, I think that that's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, he's already had it repaired before, like maybe two or three fights ago. But I think now seeing him with his cardio and more of a full training camp with that nose, we'll see how his cardio goes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And we'll be there to preview that one as well, getting closer and closer to the spear thing. And who knows, maybe we'll get some John Jones news down the line. Just another fight news. Logan Paul, he won again, Chuck. I mean, I, I I don't know why retired UFC people or people who don't fight are fighting. I know they're fighting for a check, but I don't know what it's proving at this point besides comedy. Like the only time he fought someone who was a real boxer, he lost.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the reason why he doesn't fight any real boxers or fights anybody his age because he knows that if he fights someone his age and he fights someone that's a real boxer, he's going to get smoked. I mean, I don't think that it was a complete smoke show when he got beat by Fury,
Mm-mm.
but I do believe that he's not a boxer, but he's decent enough. I think that he's just getting by. He's making his money, and that he doesn't really care about anyone's opinion because at the end of the day, he's making his money and he's winning fights. So he doesn't care. And I mean, I can't blame him for not caring. You're making money, you're famous, and you got everything that you would want. So
Agreed. Agreed. Agreed on that. Man, Chuck, besides UFC, boxing, all the fights that have been going on in the world as we gear up for this spear thing, because Dana White has really hyped this up. There's been something that's come out since July 19th. NCAA college football NCAA 25 finally came out. Like I said in the intro, you're actually the commissioner of the Dynasty League. The members of some, mostly guests, but some members of the L7C are in. I wanted to talk to you about it, man, because you're a big gamer. You're a big sports gamer. What do you like about the game?
I just love the nostalgic feel of it. It's so nostalgic, honestly. I've been playing for like the past, what, 10, 11 years. I've been playing NCAA 14, then got my PC into the NCAA 14 mod on the NCAA and just been playing that for a long time, filling the void of missing having NCAA around, playing with the updated rosters when I can on such an old and just not up to date game. And to finally have something that is on current gen and just it just feels good finally. It makes you feel whole. It feels that hole as a kid, you know, the nostalgia. It's like eating pizza rolls or having like baked beans with hot dogs cut up in them. It feels a nostalgic feeling in you. And this game has been fun, honestly. I know like I said, I'm pissed off because I'm 0-2 right now in the Dynasty, but I think that this game has just been fun. It's been exciting. It's reuniting a lot of friends and stuff around the world, honestly. And it's bringing back people to hanging out with friends like before. So, really excited that this game came out. Glad it's not a Madden reskin. Glad it definitely has a lot of its own different aspects. And it's been a fun game to play. I've been playing it played it. I think the first week it was out, I played it 41 hours, which is more hours than I actually worked.
Yeah, man. This game is it's done something for the world because so many people have been on the game, celebrities and normal people alike, and that college, the detail they put into this game, every arena, the new things like the crowd noise and your QBs getting rattled, the wear and tear, like it's been crazy, but it's also been in these past couple of weeks. It's been a challenge because even
Oh yeah.
people who have played the games many years ago, like this is different, man. This is tough.
Oh yeah. I mean, speaking to a guy who's 0-2 right now in the dynasty, so it's tough. I mean, Heisman difficulty ain't nothing to play around with. The kicking. Oh my gosh, the kicking. The
Hmm.
kicking used to be so much easier, and it is such a different game now. The way they've changed the throwing mechanics, the the adaptability from the AI, the way that the CPU plays against everyone in zone coverage, they can jump passes, they're reading different things. And I think that it's really fun that they put all these different aspects into the game. And it's really changed the game and it's really made it hard for a lot of people, which I like because I like a challenge. Challenge is fun. I think there's definitely skill gaps between teams. I like if you're like a 72 overall team and you're going against a 70 or a 88 overall team, you're going to get smacked. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be one of the most toughest challenges you're going to have, and you're most like it's almost impossible to win. Only way you're winning is like I did probably, and that's on a 2 second Hail Mary, and you just get lucky, which is how it works in real life when those sometimes when those number one teams get upset by some random squad. So it's been fun, and I think that's really the challenging aspect is what's made it so much more fun for people.
Yeah, you were right on the jumping the passes because that Heisman difficulty, you throw anything in the air, it's more than likely getting picked.
Oh yeah. You just you have to be reading. You have to be sitting there watching the defense and you have to look at where your receivers are and get to understand, remember the route combos and see where the separation is going to be. If they're in man, you need to see if they're getting separation. If they're in zone, you need to make sure that there's no one that can jump the gap to where you're going to lead the pass to. It's so many different aspects that just go into it, which has really made it fun. Um, I think for me in the dynasty mode right now, I have the slowest team and I looked at my player stats compared to everybody else's team, but my team is the slowest. And I think if you have a team that is slow, oh my gosh, you can feel it, and it is not fun.
Gotcha, gotcha. What's one of the most frustrating things to you about this game?
Defense for sure.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, trying to play on defense, and I think trying to get stops. And I mean, that's real and that's realistic because I mean, in college football, you really don't. It's a high scoring games a lot of the time, and it's shootouts, and there's a
Hmm.
lot. It's not easy. So I think that the fact that defense is a lot harder than the offense makes a lot of sense. but defense has been so frustrating. Trying to get stops, especially if you have a crappy defense, it is almost impossible.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think it's BS that you can't really get pressure with the defensive ends anymore unless you send like 8 people
Oh yeah.
for blitzing. And yeah, defense is hard when you're trying to play defense, but when you're on offense, if the computer wants, they can pick you off whenever they want. I think one for me outside of those is when I talked about the wear and tear, and it was in previous games. I don't understand why there's not a sub all button.
Oh yeah. Definitely need the sub all button. Because if you're blowing out a team and you got a running back who's almost damn near severe, you need to get him on the bench ASAP. And that's one thing that sucks, especially with me in some of these dynasties that I've been playing. I would have a running back who's out already in like week 2 or week 3 because he's banged up and there's no mass sub button. And it's like, you just have to learn how to manage the players. You have to rotate out players. You need to make sure that you're doing substitutions where needed. And it's one of the most frustrating aspects for sure.
So anything else in this game that frustrates you?
Just Just the Heisman difficulty, that's
Yeah.
one of the toughest things. I mean, just going against these teams, it's skill and you got to get it down. I think playing against real users is a little bit better because it's a sense of you're playing another opponent who can make mistakes just like you. But man, that computer is difficult.
You're right, man. Heisman is I call it sometimes a scam because it's like you look anywhere funny, it's getting ran back on you for a pick six,
Oh yeah, the pick sixes are ridiculous in this game. I swear, if you throw a pick, it's most likely going to go to the house.
which I think is wild because then like your offense can't catch up to the defender, and like you already said, you can't. It's a touchdown. I think that's crazy in itself. I, it's something, man, because I know, like you said, the good teams are good. Like I just saw a tweet today about in money leagues that which Johnson from Ohio State's banned because he's that good.
Oh yeah, nah. I watched the video on yeah Judkins.
Hmm.
They were sitting there spamming his spin move because he gets the spin ability, the 360. And bro, they was just sitting there spamming it the whole time while one of the Georgia players were trying to tackle him, and bro's just sitting there spinning the whole time, and bro can't tackle him because he's just sitting there spinning. They literally had to ban him because bro is just not like it's hard. You can't tackle. It's impossible. Tecmo Bowl, Bo Jackson mode. Jalen Milrow. You got like they make some of those players like Ollie Gordon. Like there's some players that just need to be banned.
Yeah, I agree. What are some things you would want in like in a big update?
Fix the tackling, please, because I'm tired of trying to tackle people and it is just arm tackle after arm tackle and people are
Mhm.
just breaking every single tackle. I mean, it's somewhat realistic because tackling in college is not as good as tackling in the NFL. But I think that it is not that realistic to the aspect that I'm blowing like 4 or 5 tackles in a row and there's someone running a 75-yard touchdown on my head.
Yeah,
Um, I think I think the speed separation is realistic. It's just frustrating. So I think it's really just a matter of who you pick or who you're playing with. Um, I think some other things that need to be patched are probably just like some of the animation, the glitches snapping the ball into the end zone. Some of the fumble glitches you can see with the ball just flying straight up into like the air and glitching into some like it'll say someone else recovered it, but you'll see the ball's like 30 feet in the sky. Just some of the glitchiness needs to be fixed. Some minor patches like that. But I think as they get more complaints and hear more feedback and review, I think that they're doing a really good job of trying to listen to what people are talking about.
agreed. Yeah, because you brought up that tackling, man. There's times where I throw a pick and I'm trying to catch the guy, and he breaks 7 tackles to run a pick six in.
Oh yeah. I'm like, bro, does he play offense too? Is he Travis Hunter? Because this don't make no sense.
Yeah, man, it's something. But this game has really brought communities together. People having so much fun. If you log into NCAA, no matter what time in the day, there's going to be thousands of people online. Like And like you said, Chuck, I mean, you're the commissioner for the dynasty, and like I said, you're 0-2, but we have some very strict rules in ours. I mean, you're at the bottom of the barrel, you got to work your way up. You can only recruit in your pipeline. Like we got some real strict rules in ours though, Chuck, and it's showing how we've already had some games. Make sure you check out those games. There's a L7C NCAA playlist that's going to have the games on there, so check that out. We've had close games, blowouts. It's interesting, but people are still loving playing the game even with the blowouts.
Oh yeah, I think people are just. It's just the fact that you can play with your friends. And I think the fact that you can do these big dynasties like this, where you have so many people on, I think it's just created such a. Just they created a really fun game, which people can enjoy. And I think that bringing people to is bringing a lot of people together, which is really nice to see. And I think it's only going to get better. And sky is the ceiling from here. I mean, I think our dynasty is going to get really interesting once we get into this off season. People start
Yeah,
getting more recruits. I mean, I got the first signing,
me
and
too.
I it will be interesting to see where where people's teams go from there once you get to the transfer portal, stuff like that, and
Hmm.
you get people leaving teams and people joining teams. I think it's going to get really interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm most excited for people, the transfer portal when it's open and seeing some of our own players in the transfer portal, and then they go to another person's team in the dynasty.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely taking some players off of UTSA. I got some speed over there.
Yeah, we'll see. We're 1-1 right now. We gotta get some things taken care of. But no, that'll be fun once that happens to the switching of players. But then there's also again there's other modes too. Road to Glory. There's regular play now. Play now. You can play with Xbox people. That's cross play. I wish they made online Dynasty cross play. I don't know why they didn't, but
Yeah, that because our dynasty would have been huge then.
oh yeah, that would have been crazy. But Chuck, I think it's already proven that it's a success. It's time to start working on college basketball because get the group in a
Oh
college
my gosh,
basketball
yes,
dynasty.
please. I would
Yep.
love for college basketball to come back so bad. The last one was what, NCAA 10, and that was with Blake Griffin on the
Yep.
cover.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I remember the days creating players down in the basement.
Hmm.
Kellavante Youngblood from North Carolina just popping threes from half court. I just the feeling of that game, you get the stadiums, the crowd feel. That's one thing that I think that they really incorporated really great with this. The stadium pulse, the environment, the atmosphere, the college atmosphere. It's definitely different from pro sports where you can really get some crowd. You get the drunk fans. Everyone's just getting rowdy and just starting to rattle people. I think it's been a lot of fun there that they added into the game. So it'll be exciting to see if they can definitely bring an NCAA back and get stuff like that going for us because that would be fun. And I know people would definitely do a dynasty in that as well.
Oh yeah, build a program from the ground up. Try and get them into the NCAA tournament
Oh yeah.
where anything's possible. I mean, because again, guys, we're building teams from the ground up, one stars.
Because to be a 16 seed and make it into the tournament and sit there and make it all the way, oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Oh, absolutely. It would. Man, woo! That's the next one. NCAA. I mean, have y'all really ready to feed y'all families? Because I know 2 million people. There was $2 million spent to just play the pre-order of NCAA football. So y'all got to do it, man. Bring back college basketball. Add some new settings to this game, and we're gonna have a good time. Chuck, anything else on NCAA?
Just look out for my Twitter page. There'll definitely be a poll posted here soon, either today or tomorrow. It'll be up for about a day or two, but we're looking for our offline dynasty team. Because I'm going to be building a program. It may be from the bottom up. It may be I'm thinking 2 star and below, maybe a 3 star if it's a crappy enough school. But I think the 2 star and below makes it sound even better, funner. But definitely be on the lookout for that. There'll probably be 3 or 4 teams to pick between. Um, but I think that this game's been fun. Look out for more streams from the L7C
Sir.
Dynasty. And we're going to keep pushing out this content for this because I think that this is going to be fun. And I think that people are enjoying it. And I hope that everyone's enjoying the watching. And I appreciate any support that you guys can give.
With that being said, L7C signing out. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.